We're in the middle of a fascinating situation involving a former Navy SEAL accused of multiple war crimes, where Donald Trump is going out of his way multiple times to protect this person from any sort of consequences whatsoever. And oddly, I've never seen this before, the Navy persisting in trying to have some sort of consequences for what he's alleged to have done. So it's complicated. We're gonna try to catch you up on all of this. Most recently, this is Chief Petty Officer Edward Gallagher. The Navy announced earlier this week that it's considering kicking him out formally out of the Navy SEALs, even though Donald Trump seems clear that he does not want that to happen. So Trump had tweeted, the Navy will not be taking away warfighter and Navy SEAL Eddie Gallagher's Trident pin. This case was handled very badly from the beginning. Get back to business. Now this follows Gallagher, when he was ordered dropped in rank from chief to petty officer first class. But last week, Trump reversed the order, directing Gallagher's restoration as chief petty officer. So they tried to demote him, and Trump overrid that. Now they're gonna try to kick him out of the Navy SEALs, and Trump is giving some indication that to the extent that he is able to, he will stop that from happening. In the current case now, Gallagher received a summons Wednesday for a peer review to decide whether to recommend his removal from the SEALs, along with 3 officers accused of covering for him. The announced review came 5 days after Trump initially reversed that demotion.
I don't know if this is a universal term, but monolithing, I believe it comes from 2001: A Space Odyssey, where from space magically a monolith appears and suddenly just decrees that primates will be the dominant species on the planet. That's how Trump works with soldiers. He just swoops in, and without any real care, it could be by chance, he just randomly selects a soldier he likes. And suddenly it's the end all be all. He must be this soldier's champion.
Yeah.
And that whim overrides all of, and I say this on your show a lot, like there are norms that exist that are stupid. There are norms that exist which are good and have reasons for existing. And those norms are the oversight that it seems that Gallagher would otherwise be subject to. But Trump just showed up from space and is like, this guy looks like a soldier. We should protect this soldier. Yeah. Meanwhile, Vindman comes in and gives his testimony. Oh, that's a bad soldier.
He's a foreigner. Yeah. When are we gonna get an American to testify? And so supposedly Pete Hegseth of Fox was advocating for Trump to take up this guy's case for some time. But anyway, look, we're gonna give you a little bit of an overview of what Eddie Gallagher is alleged to have done, why this matters, and why it is so bizarre that Donald Trump is taking these extreme measures that he is. But even this, just to give you an idea, this is just going to be the beginning. You can do more research and find out more of the concerns that were expressed about him. But basically, Gallagher was accused of fatally stabbing a young wounded fighter for the Islamic State militant group, posing for a picture with the corpse, and shooting 2 civilians from a sniper's perch in Iraq in 2017. Gallagher was found guilty on the charge involving the photo with the corpse, but not the others. A Navy commander said that text messages sent by Gallagher prove his guilt. One message said, quote, "I've got a cool story for you when I get back. I've got my knife skills on." Another text stated, quote, "Good story behind this. Got him with my hunting knife." That Navy commander then showed a photo of Gallagher holding up the dead prisoner's head by the hair. So multiple witnesses testify that this Islamic State militant was injured, was being treated. Gallagher walked up to him and killed him with a knife, and then appeared to multiple times brag about it through text messages, and was not convicted for those things. But it wasn't just that case. There were apparently for months brewing concern, the soldiers that were serving with him, that this guy, there was something wrong with him and nobody was taking it seriously. So SEAL sniper Dalton Tolbert testified that he does not remember who started a group chat called the Sewing Circle, but the purpose of it was to connect with others who were disturbed by what they saw while deployed with Gallagher and decide how to handle it. And that sniper said, "I shot more warning shots to save civilians from Eddie than I ever did at ISIS. I see an issue with that."
This is just, but with Trump, it's just proof that the facts don't matter, winning matters. He's already decided that this guy didn't do something. Does he know what that something is? No. Does he care what that something is? No. Will any amount of evidence show up and convince him that actually Gallagher needs to suffer some kind of consequence? No, it never has and it never will with him.
Yeah, so it doesn't matter that just murdered someone with a knife, that he, a couple times he was on post as a sniper, And either out of boredom or hatred or God knows what. He killed a young girl, is alleged to, killed an old man. Apparently there were times when with either a machine gun or a rocket launcher, he would just fire it into areas that Iraqi civilians lived in. No, there was no reason, there was no threat coming from that area. He just started firing into an area that civilians lived in. And now, knowing all of that, and whether you think that these individual charges are true, I would simply say that the fact that an entire group of his soldiers are raising concerns about him, that concerns me. Trump would have at least been briefed on all this, asked earlier this year about his policy of potentially pardoning war criminals. Here's what he had to say.
Are you considering pardoning war criminals? And does that endanger our troops?
We're looking at a lot of different pardons for a lot of different people. Some of these soldiers are people that have fought hard, long. You know, we teach them how to be great fighters, and then when they fight, sometimes they get really treated very unfairly.
Yeah, very, very unfairly. He's had effectively no consequences whatsoever. He almost faced a demotion for apparently killing multiple civilians. So bear that in mind. There were 2 people that he pardons, so it's certainly conceivable that that's the exact person that he was talking about there. But notice, he doesn't advocate any sort of change in the training to stop someone from snapping and going on a spree where they start killing civilians. He doesn't care about that. And really, I don't think that it's random that he's picking this guy to champion. I think it's very intentional for 2 reasons. One of the core planks of fascism is devotion to the military and a belief that martial force and the use of martial force is a good. It is simply a good. It shall not be restricted. That's why Trump was advocating for killing more civilians through drone strikes and bombing and all of that. He has to show to his followers he's willing to kill people and he doesn't care about the consequences. But importantly, this guy didn't just kill people, he killed Muslims. And Trump does not want to send a signal to his base that you get in trouble if you kill Muslims. He wants to laud this guy as a hero for the fact that he killed not only militants, but also civilians who happened to make the mistake of being Muslim.
Yeah, I don't think it's a mistake, John. No, yeah. I agree. I mean, I see, yes, it seems random, but my point with the monolith thing is essentially, I've said this also too, he's like a truffle pig. He just sniffs out, he like knows where the PR play is right now, and he's better than any other politician ever has been at that.
Yeah.
Which is terrible for literally the world.
Yeah, look, I say support the troops who raise concerns about someone who's apparently out of control. I say support them. For more political news, breakdowns, interviews, stories of activism, and me trying my hardest to care about the occasional big celebrity news story, subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/The Damage Report. And you can ring the bell wherever it is so you don't miss anything.